And welcome back, dear listeners, to another episode of RiftRadio 8999, where the unknown becomes known and the unheard is finally heard. I'm your host, Fernando, and with me today once again is the enigmatic visitor who's been stirring up quite the conversation across the cosmos, Blinko. How are you, man?
GM. Happy to be here. Happy to talk to you. It sounds like you had quite the time last week.
Man, I'm still recovering from the whole gathering at the NFC. It's been quite an amazing run back there. I can tell you that. Wish you were there. I mean, I don't know how you travel, but it took me quite a long time to actually go there and back. So it was quite fast, I think, if we took your spaceship next time.
Yeah, no, we'll have to look into that. I was getting a little jealous as we were kind of talking throughout the week. You know, I think Earth has all these exciting adventures that, you know, I'm ready to just kind of jump into. I mean, at some point, man, it would be really kind of cool for us to do one of these shows at a conference, you know?
True. I mean, we did see you on the big board at NFC, and weirdly enough, you weren't even the weirdest thing I saw up to date. I almost thought I saw your twin brother, but he had a bigger head, which was quite an interesting feat on its own.
Yeah, it would be amazing if I bumped into, you know, one of my own kind while being out there. It sounds like a place where I might even fit in without people looking at me weird.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're probably one of the normalest thing I'd see walking around there. Although you still need some clothing.
Yeah, no, everyone keeps saying that. You know, this clothing thing is different for me, right? But you know, I keep seeing that hoodie on you, and keep thinking how comfy it would be on me. You know, I can withstand a lot of temperatures, hot, cold. I really don't need the clothes, but from you know, I mean, it just, you know, kind of makes that mustache pop, you know?
So my hoodie makes my mustache pop. I take that as a compliment.
I would.
Oh man, but the event itself is quite amazing. I mean, it was one beautiful experience after another. I mean, the visuals, the people, and it was so diverse in that sense. I've been also like to the Paris one, but I enjoyed this one a bit more. I have to be guilty on confessing, and I think part of it was also like, you know, how it started. So after the first day, they already had this opening party, and I'll be honest, I'm terrible when it comes to planning at these events. I just go wherever direction it leads me to, right? Because you want to experience it all, but there are time slots, so you can't do all of them. So you have to pick one or the other. But one of them was like the opening party, and I didn't know there was one. So once I heard like, you know, there's going to be opening party, and the way I discovered it was merely because I was playing the sandbox game, and they said like, you know, there's this po-up you can claim, and you need to play a game and po-up, and then there's another po-up at the opening party, and then I said, whoa, is there an opening party? I thought there's only a closing party. So yeah, long story short, I ended up going to the opening party, but you know, fashionably late, of course. So I come down. It was very busy, and I saw from the start. I already saw like art being projected on the building, and going inside, you get like this visual treat across like multiple, I think like 5 screens it was, and it was just something amazing. Like I was like saying, all right, I'm not on my meds, am I now? But it was so, or maybe because I am not on my meds, that's why is this happening. But it was so, it was so mind-boggling because they draw everything I saw, like it would draw you into it, and like accompany with the sound part of it. It was quite a very interesting and feel. And I would imagine like if you would really get tipsy and drunk at the same time, I had to like, you know, keep myself a bit in check. But I would imagine if you had a drink or 4, you might end up staring at the screen or at a wall in that sense for like a good 10 minutes and just vibe with it. And that was the kind of sense I got from it. So yeah, so after that I closed it off, and it was a beautiful show, exciting experience. And then I went back to my hotel, and I think it was the last day. Yeah, it was the last day, I think, before, and I was going to plan to go to this Doodles event. And as I had to make a quick change. So I went to the hotel, did a quick change, and I came back, and across that I came a person who had also like the same wristband on it. I said, "Hey, that's a fellow DJen, as they say, right?" So yeah, so we started talking on our way down to the elevator, and before I knew it, it was basically the person, the mind behind the opening party event, who
That's so cool.
made that crazy cool art piece, installation, immersive experience. I don't even know how to name it, because I think it was such a unique thing on its own, right? So that was quite awesome to get to know him. So once we chatted, and then I shared with you, and you shared like also some stuff that you had already some touch points even, and that's like how this whole crazy thing came together. To like we have to do some spaces together, right? So it was amazing.
Yeah, I think I picked up a handful of the open editions. And then I ended up picking up and minting one of the creatures, token ID 88. And I just thought it was super cool. I hadn't seen anything that really grabbed the audio and the visual like it did. And and Soul has just a really kind of nice launch pad, or excuse me, Magic Eden has a really nice launch pad, and just made it really easy in order to purchase. And so yeah, when you said you bumped into him, I was like, gosh, yeah, let's chat, let's vibe, let's see what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, what are the odds? I'm not a superstitious person, but I think like when things align, they align, right? The chances at the same moment, same
Absolutely.
hotel coming out, and then you also having one of the open editions.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's just meant to be, bro. That's why. I mean, maybe you can. I mean, I've lost touch, and maybe you can beam him up and start see what this all glitchy stuff is all about.
I dropped the coordinates. Go ahead and unmute yourself, my friend. What was it like bumping? Yeah. Hello, sir.
Can you hear me fine? Awesome. Yes, it was really nice conference. I put like a first disclosure, like I wasn't like the only mind behind the. Visuals, because it was opening party for cool. It was like 15, 20.
I think we're catching every other word on the audio side.
Yeah. I think you need to position yourself. You're doing your name too good by being glitchy as well.
Try standing on one foot and then put one arm up, one arm down, act as a human antenna. I believe humans run on frequency of some sort. So I saw some podcasts. Yeah.
You don't hear me?
We hear you now. We hear you now.
Yeah.
You don't hear me properly?
Now we can.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that will be better. Okay. So like I'm not sure like how much you heard.
Start again.
So I wasn't the only person behind the experience, the opening party. It was a Cult Crypto Art Collective, and I was like one of the people behind the sets. It was 5 different artists performing live, and yeah, it was amazing opportunity really for me, because in the venue like this, it's quite. It was quite unusual. Like there's not many venues like that in Europe or in the world. Like with that specific setup. It was 4 projection screens, each with pretty much different and unique resolution. and LED box, like 3 meter to 2 meter high, which was in the middle, which acted pretty much as fifth screen, which was really bright, and the colors were like amazing on this. So yeah, so we had that as our kind of environment for creative exploration, and that was amazing. So yeah, it was a pleasure to work on this. I had like a really tight deadline to actually prepare stuff for that, but I made all the custom animations using AI and with audio, like my own audio tracks, and it was processing live with modular synthesis on stage as well during the show. So yeah, it was really cool. I showed some of my collections. Maybe I'll put a little bit background about myself and kind of dive into the set. I'm Koshi, and I'm founder of Glitch NFT Studio. We launched the studio with my friends and colleagues. We are a decentralized studio, like an international, people from different countries, from Germany, Brazil, like all over the world. I'm based in Poland, but at the moment I'm still in Lisbon. So we launched it as a Genesis collection on Stargate, which is Cosmos Layer 1 NFT chain. And it is GlitchCandies. I call them GlitchCandies because they were abstract generative shapes with eye-popping colors, like candy colors, but glitchy. I airdropped the visual parts of the pieces as well, like to my collectors, because originally the glitches were meant to be audiovisual pieces, so like cutting edge audio or edgy experimental audio with nice and eye-popping colors, glitches. But the chain was new and haven't supported at the time audio or MP4 format, so I dropped first PNGs and then airdropped MP4 files. So that's how we started, and then I have experience in Decentraland, and we started making scenes and mini games and events for our community in Decentraland, like creating immersive experiences in there. And like in real life, like for the last, I don't know, like 20, 15 years, I'm developing immersive experiences in real life, like similar to like in here, in museums, at installations, and video mapping events, using spatial audio, multiple speakers, using like NASA's data and stuff. So like a variety of stuff like that. So jumping to NFTs with that link technology and art was like a perfect combination, and perfect segue or like a way forward for me. So like I'm a Web3 native, I feel. Um, so this year I launched on Solana the collection, the new collection, which like was after probably like a year of development of AI animations and audio-driven AI animations. Like I'm glad you picked up. So thanks you for picking up some creatures. So I think like they are probably like one of the first. You never know when, but no one told me that there was something like that came out on Solana before. So I think it's they were quite unique at the time, and I think still are as audio-driven AI animations, because I used a specific tool set, like a custom tools and pipeline that basically allow me to link audio, amplitude, and different stems to different parameters from Stable Diffusion AI models and engine, and in effect control the animations with audio. So like also like part of my background is sound design. I do sound design for synthesizers for different companies. So like linking AI and animation with audio is kind of that's why I do like audiovisual works in general. So I launched the open edition, the Supernatural Arrival, and I was way surprised because they minted like almost 11,000 pieces minted at the time. That was like in February this year, and then I launched Creatures 1,000 one of ones, because they're each generated, each individual, like each one of one, with the traits. But since AI, each generation is different. They're kind of one of ones. on their own. I gave them the traits for different creatures, backgrounds, and movements. And the cool thing, I think, what the creatures are about is that they are linked with audio. Not only the audio is controlling them, but also they are about perceived materials. So they have wood, metal, and plastic. They're inspired by sort of um, designer toys, glitchy creatures, and then some legendary creatures from different cultures, pulled into one with the glitchy aesthetic, and also like eye poppy colors, same like GlitchCandies. I use GlitchCandies actually as part of the generation of the creatures as well. Like they are like hidden inside the data, or were used to create the creatures in some ways as well. So each creature is morphing between different materials, so from wood to plastic to metal, and the sounds are reflecting that as well. Some are like more straight, Mickey Mousing the colors. Some are like more subtle and abstract. But in general, the idea was like the metallic sound represent the metallic texture of the creature. So it's not only driving the audio, but also the audio is not only driving the animation, but also you have the representation of the colors and texture and the aesthetics as well between the two. So that's the idea behind the collection. And with the show in Lisbon, I was using also the creatures um, images or init images. I used initial images that I used to generate the creatures in different formats using different AI tools called Animate Dev for the geeky, like if anyone is geeky here. I use the forum. The forum as Stable Diffusion XL for for the higher resolution to generate creatures. And to create the show, I was using Stable Diffusion 1.5 and Animate Diff and the new workflows that allow me to like remix the content. So that was exciting, and also like pretty hardcore, I have to say, because I had to generate 15 minutes of material for 5 screens. So it's a lot of AI generation. Taking into account that you have it takes like 5 to 10 minutes to generate like several seconds. So I was using run pods on GPU, renting 4090 GPU cards to make them as fast as possible, as many as possible, and then curate and then edit to the audio tracks. And that's how I kind of went about generating the content. And I also made the immersive or like 3D scene with my friends helped me develop, so I could actually test in 3D environment the content. So I had the model of the venue with the one-to-one scaled screens. I was testing that at home in the browser. I want to release it actually for community and for collectors actually to check, and for people who haven't been on the event. So that allowed me to view like 5 videos at the same time and see like what audience is going to experience and test the content and then curate it further. Like before the show, like it didn't take into account the lights and like how bright the LED box was, but it was still, yeah, it was really useful. The show had like 3 main parts, 3 tracks, and I treated them like basically like a video clips for each audio track. But it was made for 5, like each 5 screens. So idea was that each screen is different. The content on each screen is different, or sometimes it's repeated, but most of the time they're different. So everyone had the unusual experience because there was always one screen behind the audience, like anyone in the audience back, like so you could never see all screens in front of you. So everyone had a unique experience. I played like with the generative techniques and loops and stuff with that. So it was really cool, rewarding and really nice experience. And it was really nice to see also like the older artists as well, because everyone approached that from different angle. So like few artists like just submitted video and had like some like were jamming live on stage on the Sims and have one screen mirrored across all the four screens. So it was different approaches. But it was super cool community and really nice event overall as an opening party. And the drinks are free as well, so like everyone loved it.
Yes, I love the free drinks.
It was the thing. It was they were free for an hour. So once I was done, I have to pay.
Well, yeah, I'll be honest. That's why I came for, but because I came in late, you know, I didn't get any free drinks, so I ended up paying for it. Yeah, it wasn't that expensive either, anyways, but it was fun.
Well, it absolutely looks incredible. You know, from what I pinned up top. But I can't imagine being live and seeing that. It just had to have been quite the show.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was amazing. Like
Yeah,
you wanted to look at
the sheer
everything.
size of the size was quite huge. Like I think they were like 6 to 10 meters long or something. Like the biggest screen on the back. But the thing is, it was interesting actually to generate content for this because they each were unusual resolution and aspect ratio. That is, like AI models are not trained for that. So like it was making
Right.
the generation I was making were more glitchy than usual. Because like most of the time they're like trained on 16:9 or like 3:4 or square aspect ratio. But this was like kind of weird, like 3400 to 1200 or something. You know, like kind of each screen was odd. It was kind of 3K resolution more or less.
So
But it's actually made the content quite unique as well.
so was this your first time putting on a show of this size or a show in general, or yeah, had you put on shows at other conferences in the past?
Not on NFT conferences, but yeah, I do like as I was mentioning before, I do audiovisual art for like 15 years. So I did shows like that across Europe, in UK. I performed like in the venue like at the University of York. There's like a really cool venue where it's smaller than this one, but there's like 4 projection screens and 32 speakers, so you can actually and you can address those speakers individually using ambisonic encoding, and it's really cool because you can really target each speaker. 32 speakers and 8 subwoofers in the venue, like half the size of this. But this was like this is quite unique venue in terms of I don't know, like you can't put gigs like specifically on that venues like this because this is like one of its kind. I don't know when there's like second one which is similar, you know, like with this size and the amount of screens. So it was really cool actually to present the work on that and make especially content for that. I'm thinking I might do like a collection based on that content and some kind of like a game, as I mentioned, like gamified experience for people who couldn't do it, but try to translate that to the browser basically, 3D environment, like a metaverse space kind of thing. We're experimenting with on Cyber. They have like really cool stuff with the visuals, but yeah, it's quite difficult because you have to have five videos playing at the same time, basically at 3K resolution to have a similar experience, and it's quite difficult to do it in the browser or like on the computer, you know, to play so much content at the same time. It's quite demanding on the machine. So yeah,
So
I need to play with optimization of that.
and then you're building in Decentraland. Is there any other metaverses that you're looking at building in and creating any gamified experiences, or is Decentraland more or less where you're building?
So yeah, so Glitch NFT Studio is an official partner, official Decentraland partner studio. Like I contribute some code for the SDK for Decentraland, and we build for multiple clients. I collaborate with different collectives as well. So like uh, we bring like a variety of people from Decentraland throughout the project, and yeah. So the central land is one. We also have a HQ in the central land as well, in Etheria, in like 12 plot land. So like the central is kind of the core. But yeah, I also build in Monaverse. I'm looking at the on cyber at the moment and custom made custom web website using Free.js renderer. So JavaScript, like with JavaScript in the browser. I'm really interested in that at the moment. So developing stuff in that. And actually, on cyber is using similar technology as well for generating stuff in the browser. So that's why I'm looking on cyber as well. So this allows to actually address multiple communities, like from both on cyber and central and Monaverse, who are interested in these kind of experiences and bringing slightly different, because each of those ecosystems or projects have slightly different like settings and allow different things. So like it's cool to I think it's cool to use them for their strengths, and like Monaverse you can have like higher poly objects and then models than in the central land. Although like now we have new the central land is coming, like it's already announced, so like there will be like quite boosted stuff as well in there, like in terms of visuals and so yeah, quite exciting.
We have in about 5 minutes. We got to go to a commercial break. These bills are stacking up, and it just is it's power for the course, if you will, right? But before we get to that commercial, what challenges do you face when creating some of this generative art, and then how do you overcome them?
Challenges. Oh, it's variety. It's kind of like technical. I don't like. I'm renting like GPU, so I have to install from scratch each time I'm generating, and then I just like rinse the content once I have it. But there's always some, because I'm using open source software, and not always everything works because like you install one part of the software and then it breaks the other part. So there's lots of troubleshooting and fixing stuff as you go. So like it's quite technical. But like once you keep going and getting like actually fix that, then like suddenly like like it pops and it's like something like suddenly like works super nice, and then I'm just like generating as much as I can. But yeah, it's I think like mainly technical with this, but it's also unleashing the creative bit as well, because like I'm restrained creatively because I have to fix the technical bits, and once I fix technical bits, I can just full blast on with the creative stuff.
Right. Yeah, I think I certainly enjoy solving technical problems, puzzles, things of that nature. But then when you have art that ties into it, so you have this technical challenge that you're solving, and then that moves you to the point now where you're going into creation mode. I can imagine that is a very rewarding feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I like solving technical issues, but like if you have tight deadline, you don't have time for that.
Yeah, right.
you just want things to work, and,
yeah.
And die with the creative stuff, but it is what it is. Like I'm used to it, and I'm kind of like technical with
challenges.
this.
Yeah, technical challenges are fun when you have the time to resolve them, but when you're up against a timeline, it's a whole nother story. Exactly. Fernando, we better run this commercial before we get kicked out of the studio here.
Yeah, let's go, bro.
Hey there, Rift Valley. Feeling hungry but tired of the same old junk? Come on down to Big Al's Burger Barn, where we flip the biggest, juiciest patties in town. Our secret? It's all in the sauce, 100% real mystery ingredients. Try our new quadruple bypass burger. It's so big you'll need a forklift to carry it out. And don't forget, every Tuesday is all you can eat bacon night. Big Al's Burger Barn, where your diet goes to die. Located downtown next to the giant inflatable cow. Disclaimer: not responsible for clogged arteries, food comas, or sudden cravings. Hey there.
Yep.
Gotta get that disclaimer in there. Last thing we need is legal on our butt.
Exactly, man. I mean, I'm down for a burger anyways after that commercial.
Ribbit, ribbit.
Yeah, special sauce. Oh man.
Uh, oh geez. Okay. All right. So what's Glitch? What's your favorite kind of a burger? Since we're on burgers from Big Al's, what do you like on your burger?
Oh, I like spicy stuff usually. Yeah, with chorizo or with jalapenos.
Let's go. I'm a big fan of the spice. Fernando, I think you may have had too much spice, and that's how you lost the top of your head.
Yeah, yeah, it's too much heat rising to the head and making. No, I'm follicle resistant.
Tell that
Oh,
to your lip.
oh man, I love it. Oh man, that's been amazing, man. But yeah, I mean,
So,
yeah.
can you explain, like maybe the process in creating kind of like start to finish? Is it, it sounds like there's a lot of pieces, a lot of moving parts. It sounds like technologies stacked on top of one another. Is there something where you draw inspiration from? How does that come into play when you're going from, say, a blank canvas to finished product?
It really depends on the project, like, and then I'm trying to like make each time new and different as well. So it really depends. Like for example, like GlitchCandies, I use the custom-made software called MaxMSP. MaxMSP is a programming environment where you can program using nodes, connecting nodes together, like a graphical interface. Just using OpenGL and GLSL shaders. And I approached that I was basically live sculpting those glitch candies or glitches algorithms, curating them live to the audio loops I created. So like kind of fitting this aesthetically animations or like animations with to audio. So this had nothing to do with AI, for example. For creatures, I used the forum and I used audio first, and then was driving the animations with audio, and then a lot of inspiration comes from using the software and seeing like how it responds, what it reacts to the certain things. For example, like I noticed that once I moved the canvas like really fast, well, I was like making mistakes, initially. And then I noticed like it generates once you generate fast, it makes abstract shapes, and then like I made like the entire collection using that. It like generates fast, and then like after the delay, like few frames delay, AI starts generating the prompt that you have on those abstract shapes and coming back to those creatures. So that was one thing. And some are stuff coming like from tutorials I watch or from some of the materials as well. So like for example and also using things that are not possible to do with other media, like especially with AI. I like doing stuff that for example, like changing the entire scene like drastically to the beats. That was like one of the tutorials I watched from a Parsec software. It's kind of combination of Excel spreadsheet and music trackers, but lets you map any parameters from audio to stable diffusion parameters. It's super powerful, and what it allows you to do is like once you lower the strength of the animation, you can lower it for like one frame and only for example, where's your kick drum, and then suddenly like you completely can change the scene to something completely different, and it's really difficult to do it with other means this way. Another thing I noticed, for example, the stable diffusion. I'm testing multiple tools like from different companies once they launch, like giving some feedbacks on UI or in general. And I was testing the forum bot, that allow me to generate stuff that I normally don't do, like flowers or like mechas and all sorts of stuff. And I noticed that it actually really nicely generates any flowers. And then I was playing with that concept of linking flowers and not nature with very technical mechas and poker actually and morphs between one into another as a contrast. And it's actually that works really nicely. So I included part of that in the creatures collection and also during that set as well. So you have uh, uh, here I use different tools. So it was also I used the steerable motion, which is like the newest, probably like the most cutting edge. I would say like the AI workflow for animation. It's like creative interpolation between images. So it's like you can think of it as like a slideshow, but AI generates content between each slide, and you can give it as many slides or as many images as you like, and it's gonna move content from one to another. It's like your keyframes basically. But once you make, so then you're like curating content to fit either in color or in shape. So it actually works nicely. And like the better you create, like the smoother the animation is. Or like you could make it glitchy on purpose as well. And so yeah, so that was really cool. Like I used that mainly for that show. Besides GlitchCandies, which was I was to show also like the collection, like Genesis or the first collection. So I use that as part of the set as well. But yeah, I like to explore different things and then utilize in once the good moment takes place. So I think that was a good time to explore because it was the newest technology. So I was really keen to use, like let's use that at this gig. Like there's opportunity to play. It's happening now. AI is changing super fast. New things are coming all the time. So I feel like let's use whatever is the most cutting edge and the newest and today. So that was my thinking.
I guess it almost kind of answers the question I was going to ask you next. Is like, how do you stay inspired to continue to innovate? And it almost seems like you just want to get your hands on the latest, greatest, cutting edge tech stack and build with it. Is that maybe a fair statement?
Yeah, that's correct. And I think like once you're playing with AI, you have to sort of like follow what's going on. Although like you don't have to like play with the latest, greatest, but I was really keen to dive into comfy UI workflows, and so that was really good opportunity to do that. I was playing with Automatic 1111, which is different UI, and the forum mainly because it allowed using SDXL, which is higher resolution models, and allowed audio sync. And comfy UI haven't allowed that, and it's quite difficult to play with or use the SDXL models using that. It's more tricky. But even like previous models that animate this uses Stable Diffusion 1.5, they render really well, and I think like all the developers and guys who are working on these workflows are really pushed it hard, and I was really positively surprised actually. It's potentially like older models, but the upscalers work really nicely, and you can make really sharp and realistic and lovely images, and the movement is different as well. So it's kind of I'm adding it as a different part of the stack. And in the future, I'm looking to like combine different of those tools, as they grow, and just like different software we can combine and use. So.
What advice would you give new artists who want to explore, the intersection of art and blockchain technology?
Art and blockchain, like minting NFTs or
yes, someone maybe someone's new, maybe someone is maybe been in the space for a bit, but really is trying to just a new artist wanting to explore both art and blockchain minting. I kind of alluded that Magic Eden from the user side via the launch pad was very easy to use. Any any advice that you'd give to new artists looking to maybe crack their teeth if they haven't started a project before?
I think first just see what kind of stuff is minting, what kind of art is there, what is explore different art, like different artists, different chains. That's what I was doing initially, like minting like on OpenSea, then checking Zora. Like I started minting like in 2021, and then found I was exploring like all sorts of like bridges and stuff and Polygon, and then found I was looking for the next. I think like you need to find a good moment and good like momentum and situation of the market as well. So that's kind of tricky. So I think it's good to like wait for that good moment and then have a good setup, especially for the new artists I think coming. But it's good to experiment and try new things until something sticks. I think. So like I found like with the Stargaze, that was like really awesome for me because it was a really good situation for any artist dropping there because people were getting airdrop for each minted piece, and yeah, so like everyone sold out their pieces and it was like really nice setup. But that was like peak bull run, like in 2022. So yeah. I think exploring and experimenting different things and trying things, trying metaverse, try like how to display in galleries like on Cyber or how the Decentraland works.
Yeah, I can
doing stuff like that.
Wow. Yeah. I played around with On Cyber a little bit. Have a gallery with a bunch of my dead fellas and such. And I got like a gazillion monkeys. Don't get me started. But if I could see, I could totally see a space.
Even minting.
Go ahead.
Yeah, even like minting other people's work and making like a collection and seeing like what is the experience of the collector. Like so you like put yourself in the shoes of a collector or in the role of on the other side. Who is buying and see like what is the different thing you can do as well.
What about collaborations? If you could collaborate with any artist, living or dead, who would it be and why?
I collaborate with lots of actually artists. So like the whole cool crypto art thing was a collaboration. Although like everyone did their own set, but it was really nice community feeling. So yeah, I'm open. I don't have like particular targets. Obviously, like the bigger names is good, but but yeah, any like artist doing like interesting work, I'm keen to collaborate. Or if there's like a mutual benefit, it's cool. My friend Malloy was here before, like he left now. Like for example, we have a collab now and had an AR drop because like I haven't mentioned as part of this conference. There was also AR exhibition of crypto art, and each artist made a 3D model, and we had like a cones which was similar to the logo of Cool Crypto Art. And once you scanned one of the cones, you got the AR link on Monaverse with your model. And so what we have done with Malloy, he is like amazing modeler from the Decentraland ecosystem. And he took one of the creatures. I sent him the sketches or like the initial images of the design of one of the creatures with the trait Enigma, and he made a 3D model out of that, like super nice. Like he's finishing that actually now, but we displayed the head of that as a most like digital identity. Was the head, the face of it in 3D, so as a 3D model, and the idea is to put it in the metaverses, and so the community and users can use that creature as their avatar or use it to experience stuff. So my future thing is create a website and of the different and include different exhibitions I took part like this one in Lisbon, for example, and you can walk with that creature and experience what audience experience as well. Because the previous event I did was in Dubai on Token 2049 was the Stargaze exhibition with GlitchCandies, but it was different room, also immersive space, but it was like around surrounding the audience. So you had like a 360 surround screen. So we had candies there. So imagine a website, a 3D website where you can walk with the avatar with the creature, where you can see like, oh, here's exhibition in Dubai, here's exhibition in Lisbon. So that's kind of the idea. I showcased on works on other events as well, like in Miami, on Basel and NFT NYC as well. But yeah, but this was probably like the biggest, and I was actually performing on stage as well. So a bit different, but that's the idea, to kind of bring users and show them different experiences. Because, for example, like in Dubai, I haven't been there myself. It just works were exhibited, but I think it would be cool to present how the work was presented on site. So
Oh,
hopefully
absolutely.
that answers your question.
Yeah, I think it would just, yeah, I think just curious to from the collaboration perspective. No, it's great. What about highlights from Lisbon? What I can imagine, opening, that's got to be quite the thrill and exciting in itself. But maybe what were some of your highlights of NFC Lisbon?
Yeah, so so I think meeting the whole crew, because I'm quite new to crypto art community, and it's actually quite a nice story, because one of the key members of the cult, Jean Art, he collected my work. I was his first collected piece, and my piece was first his collected NFT as well. So we had like a good connection. Once he started his NFT collection as a collector, and my first mint ever. So like we follow each other from there. That was like 2021, like I don't know, February or something. Yeah, he's involved in that cult collective. So it was nice to meet people like other artists from that collective through that, and so that was definitely the key highlight. But also, I think because I'm third time now on this conference here in Lisbon. So it was good to see like how actually the conference changes, and also the community, a bit like the NFT landscape in some ways as well, because like the last year they upgraded the venue, and I thought like, yeah, I really need to play here, because this is exactly what I'm doing in like in real life situations and gigs. So I really wanted to do it. So I'm pleased I could present the work. But also, yeah, I could see like there was better curation as well. It was higher quality works, really nice artists. Like it was, like it was kind of privilege being, exhibiting next to DK Motion was there, and people did every days, one of his every days on stage. That was, these were like the highlights, and like we were like all presenting works in the same room, like as these dudes that are kind of legends in NFT space, so it was pretty cool. So I think like overall, that was pretty good.
All right. So Fernando, I think we have some sort of a POAP available to our listeners. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, like as always, we thank our guests for also joining us during their Sunday, and yeah, it's and also our speaker, I think you were still vibing in Lisbon, so thank you as well for joining in last minute. So that's quite very kind of you, and with that, we thought it's gonna be. How else could we, after this session, reward like, listeners that just want to vibe on a Sunday and listen in for really for the tech, for the things that they actually like, right? So that we try to keep these kind of stuff always low key and not really advertise and push it any harder, because that's not the incentive here for this. So you heard throughout the spaces being talked about, like, these glitchy and fun kind of art pieces, which take a tremendous amount of time to make. So people, they think it's just a simple prompt and then poop it out on the screen, but they don't know the amount of effort it takes to create these things. From, like, it might be just one frame, but if you want to go down into a 15-minute path to create something that doesn't feel gibberish to your eyes, but draws you in to actually be called an experience, right, in a positive sense, it takes time, right? So we thought, like, we want to, like, reward our listeners for this. So with that, the best way is, one of the ways, the POAP, but the POAP is just for you tuning in, right? So claim the POAP, we're gonna tell you how soon, and it will be your ticket for a raffle of, I think we're gonna be doing 4 pieces. Yeah, 4 pieces. So it will be 4 winners. They're gonna be drawn out of the POAP collectors. More detail will follow after the spaces finishes, of course. And it was 2 of them have been selected and provided by very generous by Glitch NFT Studios themselves. And we were kind of also how do you say, enticed by the collection. So we're also giving 2, adding 2 to it. So making a total 4 for 4 winners. So make sure when the POAP window is only 15 minutes, make sure to claim it. Otherwise, it's hard to enter into the raffle for it, right? So I think that's one of the things we can't leave empty hand. The only downside is I can't enter into the raffle myself, so I'm gonna, after this, gonna grab some more, but then for myself this time. I think you already got some already, Blinko, so the coincidence is already, yeah. But it's glitchy, it's alien-y, like, it feels home to you, like this whole thing.
Indeed,
yeah?
Indeed.
Yeah, so yeah, that's gonna be. Do you know what the secret is? You can share it, but I think we can share it with the.
Well, I think if one were to pay attention to a little bit of the guests that we had, it would seem a little bit of a glitch might be a word you could throw at it. So if you have the POAP app installed on your phone and you enter in the secret word of glitch, all caps, when that window opens up, I think you'll be able to claim that POAP and get entered in, win one of these 4 NFTs. Pretty groovy.
Yeah, it's quite a groovy selection for real. Just make sure it's gonna open in 5 minutes, so it's gonna be open for 15 minutes. So it's a quite small window, but it's for a select few that really been vibing with this whole show and the art and the creativity behind it. Again, this is one of the reasons we never advertise it openly, what is going to be expected on joining a show with us. But the vibes and enjoying and communicating and exploring new ways of art and building and gaming and everything that is related to with exploring Web3 with my cranium having friend Blinko, right? This is where the show is all about, just to enjoy and vibe and reward at the same time the real people that vibe with this. This is the holy case of and purpose of us, right? Just vibes.
vibes and fun, right? That's what it should be about, right? I think, learning about new tech stacks, learning about new projects, and how we all sit within this ecosystem is kind of what it's all about, right? And Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I love it, love it. Oh man, it's been quite an amazing show. I mean, maybe some more words from our lovely speaker who joined before we close the show for today. And
Yeah, I just wanted to mention because you touched upon it. Actually, it's quite good point that like with AI stuff, a lot of it's curation and generating a lot of content and selecting the best the material out of that. So and with animation particularly, it's quite time consuming because like creatures, for example, it's 6 seconds long animation. And to curate them, you have to watch them. So I generated 3,000 of them. It's like like watching 1,000, like 6,000 seconds. That's like a few hours straight watching time. Like if you have 3 times as much, just to like watch them to see if you like them or not, or if they are going to the collection is already time consuming. So yeah, and similar was with the show. Like. Generating lots of content, and then once you have like multiple screens and 15 minutes to fill, that's I probably spent like 150 to $100 on just GPU time on its own, which is like 70 cents per hour or something for just pure generating content. So it's yeah. So basically, with AI stuff, you curate a lot, so you have to generate a lot to have a selection and choose from. And this is the animations. Before animations, I create images that drive those animations or that match those animations. So like I was creating like a specific styles or different aesthetics for each part of the show. So yeah, I rinsed like the whole month of journey with that and use other like content from creatures which was already curated before. So like the beautiful thing or like cool thing with AI is that you can take once you have your data set or your art, you can train models with it, and then once the models are upgraded or the new tech comes, you can take your data set and use that again on the new models, and upgrade. So I'm doing that kind of both using my GlitchCandies collections and then either like new mid-journey model comes in, so I'm using outputs from my Stable Diffusion outputs, for example, and then run them through a new model of mid-journey, then come back to Stable Diffusion, run them again. So it's like processing. I come from a music background, so these processes are like kind of similar in a way, like processing through modular synthesizer, sampling with the drum machine or with the sampler, then running through the outboard gear, like processing to some reverb. It's kind of a similar approach, but with the visual content, So and I see like lots of musicians and electronic musicians, producers are already into AI animations as well. I can see why as well, and I think it's because of that kind of analogy of the process. So I just wanted to put it out there.
Wow.
I'm stoked that we will have some few members. We have a Discord, so like, and we have some stuff for the collectors as well. I had a contest for collectors, for example. So like, was making individual pieces based on the collectors. Like a resonance, so like they were giving me few words that they resonate with, and I made the whole collection for them and minted that on Exchange Art. Like if they collected all free materials from creatures, it was like 15 people who have done that, and each got customized piece specifically for them. So yeah, so we're playing with all sorts of stuff. We work with community. I like to get to know community better, and and making engaging in metaverses with that. So I'm trying to engage with content and IP in different ways, and then use it as a case study and translate it to them for clients. So like we have like working with the big brand or something, we can see like which strategies work, which kind of mechanisms work with NFT and IP. So treating like these candies or features as an IP we can leverage in different metaverses.
Well, I certainly love the aspect of bringing in community and bringing them in on kind of that co-creation process that you have for those that you had collected several of the pieces, and then them being able to throw out some words and then have like kind of like this custom curation created. I think that's incredible. I think those are the things that really resonate with community, to be honest with you. We spend so much time in some of these spaces and these collections, and then when we have artists like yourself that recognize that and then reward those, even with like custom creation, like you had just mentioned, I think that's in my opinion, that's the secret sauce. So kudos to you, man.
100%, and it was super rewarding on personal level, to getting to know people more, because I was like, it was my entry to Solana with creatures, so I wanted to get degens and collectors more and what they are into, so like asking them, give me 3 words that resonate with you the most. You get like really interesting spectrum of users, by this. And then the collection itself, it was like curated on the top of that. So I think this is like higher quality than creatures in some ways, because like that was already curated second time and then made custom for the collectors. So it was both on kind of personal level and also on aesthetic and looking at things, totally new things that I haven't thought about. So we had like a diamond hand crocodile, or like a space love and geometry, like totally different things that like I wouldn't look at first, but so that opens really new things, and it's actually cool. Like it's more connection with the audience, with the community.
Awesome.
Oh, just to give you a note, the POAP has gone live, so if you want to claim it, you do have to claim it now. Reminder, what was the secret again, Blanco?
Glitch, all caps.
Glitch, all caps. So if you want to enter for the raffle to get one of those glitchy, awesome-looking NFTs, claim the POAP, so that will be your entry ticket for the raffle. Yeah, awesome.
Let's go. Thank you so much for your time. This was incredible. It was so neat to be able to hold one of these myself and then find out that you bumped into him, Fernando. It just wild.
You know what I was thinking? Who could endlessly talk on this topic? I think if Antoine was here, and both you and me, we could have just walked off, and these two could just talk for the next 3 hours. I mean, it's amazing, but it also shows like how passionate he is about behind his art and how he approaches it, and I love that. Like that's also not a given, because that's one of the things. One of the things I said the other day at the NFC was, I rarely listen to what you have to say, but I listen to what your body is saying and the energy that you're saying it with, right? And this is what it is, and again, I can listen to it for hours, but I think everybody would love to, but we have to also attend to other duties. Yeah, so it's a good thing that Antoine wasn't here at the same time, because if he was, we would have been able to close the space for another 2 hours.
Absolutely.
I loved it. Oh man! All right, but I mean, we have to regretfully bounce. We loved everybody that joined us today. Again, if you're with us, Glitch is the secret code for claiming your POAP to enter for the raffle of getting that cool art piece. Thanks again for joining us, man.
Thanks so much for having me. And it's a pleasure. I'm really pleased we met, and it was a really cool follow-up straight from Lisbon. I'm still close to the venue, close to the venue, so it's energy is fresh.
Oh man, love it, man. Thanks again, thanks again, and who knows what the future can bring. Stay glitchy.
Glitch out.
Glitch out. All right, guys. Thanks again for everybody for joining us. Having a great day and Sunday, wherever you are, wherever you may be. Stay degen, healthy, and happy. Take care, guys. All right, Blinko. Next time again. Same time.
Next time.
Well,
Same
no,
time.
maybe not. Maybe same time.
Maybe
Maybe a different time.
Maybe time.
But maybe time.
But we'll be here at some time.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. No, this is so much fun. We'll be definitely, but it might be a different day. That might be the case, but it will be definitely be here. I mean, we got so many awesome people that are building, creating in this space. We are just now in our fourth episode, right? Since we started this together, this journey. So. There is no end to this, only the next stage for us, right? This is where we are. Whether it's Mochaverse, Decentraland, Twitter. At the moment, we are being streamed on like Twitch, YouTube, Twitter also. And it will be also, this will be also available on Spotify podcast. So wherever there are people listening and are down to see what's happening in the space, digital, physical, immersive, we'll be there. We might not even be having the same skin, right? We might even transform, but we'll be there.
We will definitely be there.
All right, man. All right, take care. Cheers.
Be well.
Bye-bye. Be well.